So I do think that buying a house really is a scam in the long term, just because the way taxes work in general, and insurance. It's not really it's not a sustainable like incline for money. The average house goes up roughly 4.5% a year. That's on average. You're not going to get these 20% runs like you've been getting. Even if rates come down, houses aren't going to appreciate like the way they are unless wages kind of outpace that to an extent. Regardless, let's talk about this logically. So if you buy a house, okay, even if you pay cash for it, you make 5% a year on that amount, which is great. But you have 1 to 3% of the house total cost and repairs per year. That goes up as the house gets older. Also, you have property tax, which is in my county, it's like 1.4 something percent, which is really expensive. And everybody wants to sell you that like a house is an investment. It is not. It's a liability. If you put a house on top of land, okay, think about it. You put a house on top of land and you don't do anything to that house at all. You don't touch it. It will literally crumble and fall down to nothing. But the land will still be worth something that's in the house, right? So that land will always maintain value. You can't reprint land. Land is a fixed amount. So when people talk about like real estate investing, I personally think that they're more or less talking about rental units, where if you purchase a house in cash and it's earning you money, that's fine. So like, let's say I spent 500 grand for a house, okay? After I buy the house, my taxes on the house are roughly, I don't know, $800 a month. And then I have insurance and yada, yada, yada. Well, I can then try to earn a ROI or return on my investment by renting that house out. So I could rent the house out for, let's just say, $3,000 a month to be fair for whatever the house is, okay? So that money is money in your pocket now, but you still have to repair the home, you still have to pay taxes, maybe you can't find a renter, and then you took $500,000 and you bought a house where you could have easily bought gold, you could have bought regular stocks, like, I mean, you could buy CDs, bonds. So like, I don't think real estate is what people think it is. Now, realtors love that, like, oh my gosh, a house is your best investment. Now, I will say this. If you're going to rent, it should only be temporary. And it's really nice to have the flexibility of rent. And I'm pro rent. I think it's like, as long as it's cheaper than owning, it's great. But what happened to rent and like why housing is a scam, but we still bought into it, is because at the point we're paying $1,700 for a mortgage, that if I rent that house, it would have cost me $2,500 a month or more, probably more, honestly. So like, by it's all said and done, I'm 24 out the door when I'm paying 25 to rent it. Why don't I just buy it? Well, the market's probably effed in the long term, and I'm stuck with debt now. But I'm not throwing, you know, $2,500 in the trash every month now. So, I don't know. I think it's like you have to like almost lose money when you're renting. You also lose money when you're buying, because these taxes are just ridiculous. I do think there should be tax breaks for houses that are primary residence, though. And then I think we should up the taxes, believe it or not, for third-time property owners. So if you have 2 houses, I think that's okay, honestly. It's not a big deal. But if you have 3 properties or more, it should be taxed at a substantially high rate. And that would keep monopolies from growing. That would keep corporations out. I just have a hard time believing that lowering taxes would like, I don't know. If you're going to lower taxes, it has to lower rent. I'm sorry. But when you let corporations buy all the housing in cash and then they can charge whatever they want by also raising the property values, that's a problem. That's really it. I don't, you know, like people, there's so many hidden costs to housing that they don't talk about. And then they just post this like house and white picket fence, and everybody wants something to call their own. But even if you pay the house off, like they will fucking come for you if you don't pay your taxes, man. And I do not think a primary residence, like, yes, there's a homestead exemption, but it's for 50 grand. Houses are like starting at 300 these days, like at the lowest. So I don't know. It's just some thought for myself in the future.